Shit, you know what's going on. You know the truth. 300 jury and above. You already know it's with me. Pull up NASCAR, I'm a speeder. I don't need her. Don't ask to play ball with me. I'm Derek Jeter, crushing snakes in my bathing apes. Got jungle fever. I just put 5 ounces in the 1 liter. Don't ask how much my jury costs. I hate dumb people. You don't know who shot your friend. We don't either. I could do a song with whoever I want. I'm from LA, so I stay with a gun. Niggas better watch their mouth when talking to me crazy. You don't know my homies shoot up babies. I got 3 Ks, I been Ku Klux lately. You wanna fuck me, bitch, you won't pay me. I got 3 Ks, I been Ku Klux lately. My homies is crazy, they'll shoot at babies. I been driving whips out the DuPont lately. I been here and I been doing too much lately. I got 3 Ks, I been Ku Klux lately. My homies is crazy, they'll shoot up babies. I been driving whips out the DuPont lately. I been here and I been doing too much lately. Shit. I been driving whips out the DuPont lately. Man. My homies is crazy, they'll shoot up babies. I just put a drum on the K, I been tripping. Nigga breathe wrong, I'ma chip one of these niggas. I'm from California, LA to be specific. I'm a big dog, nigga greet me as I'm Clifford. I just caught a body in a party with the Clippers. I want Mei Ling, So Young, and her sister. Nigga come I'm tripping about a bitch, I'ma chip him. We take camera phones in the booth cause bitch is tricky. Age ain't nothing but a number, the 17 is with me. If he graduated, then his 17 gon' hit him. I pull up in a super sport, I had to go and get him. Can't talk about what happened next, just Lord forgive me. I got 3 Ks, I been Ku Klux lately. My homies is crazy, they'll shoot at babies. I been driving whips out the DuPont lately. I been here and I been doing too much lately. I got 3 Ks, I been Ku Klux lately. My homies is crazy, they'll shoot up babies. I been driving whips out the DuPont lately. I been here and I been doing too much lately. Shit, man. I been driving whips out the DuPont lately. Shit, man. My homies is crazy, they'll shoot up babies. Shit, man. You know what the fuck going on, nigga? 300 on the above, 2 whips. Like, what's next for me? Like, I'm not playing with these niggas, I'm from LA, nigga. Nigga better not tell me nothing, I do songs whatever the fuck I want to, nigga. Yeah, at the end of the day, y'all gotta come out here. Shit, we don't gotta go nowhere else. Shit. Stop playing with me. I'm not the one to play with. Yeah. Put a drum on that, my youth.
We Japanese still. You getting cooked in front of your family like a Japanese meal. And y'all shoot the hibachi and none of you niggas can stop me. But can't help but watch me. Bro, we're going to deal with these internet jesters, man. Internet jesters, some Jews versus Hebrew Israelites group. You understand? And then we also got some jesters 93 and mirrors. I want to deal with a few things they said. And how music says, peace and love, bro. You ain't coming with peace. You trying to war with us. Look, he said, bro, can you touch on the EPH 2818 Ramses III if possible? Give me a article, a scientific article that breaks that down, and then I'll touch on it. Give me the article, brother, and I'll go on it. I seen your post, by the way. I was in the middle of getting ready for this show. I got about an hour and change to do this show until we transition over to the Source Debate League tournament. Today we're having a great call out, so I don't have much time. Send me the article. You know my email, brother. My email is HebrewJedi@gmail.com. There you go. HebrewJedi@gmail.com. You don't come in peace, man. Send me the article, brother. All right. So first thing I want to do is touch on what this dilettante said in this group. And it's very silly shit, bro. Very silly stuff. I'm going to show you, right? Let me drop my banner here on this Facebook group. This group is inundated with racists, right? And look what this person says. First of all, Jacob Israel goes out and makes an absolute statement here. And that's what makes it so easy to destroy these arguments, and refute, not rebut. Anyone can rebut and say you're wrong with actual refutation. Maybe I should show you guys what refutation means. Historical drawings and illustrations of Amorites and Canaanites. These people were not black. That's what he says, right? That's his statement. He makes it absolute. They were not black. So why would the Israelites who came from the same vicinity be black and look like Africans when people that are already living in the land of Canaan were not black? Here's the thing, and why when people speak in absolutes, they fuck up. Yes, the Canaanites would look like modern day Levantine population, well, modern day Lebanese, excuse me, in coloration of skin. There were a lot of them that were white, but that does not eliminate the ones that will look Africoid or had darker or black skin. That's the idiocy. You guys never allow nuance. So when you don't do that, then we look at this statement, it's easily to break down. So this is ostensibly false with the available data. Now, I commented somewhere down here. I commented on the page. So many other people warring with him right now. I don't come here in a war. I'll just comment and leave. Somebody decided to tag me, this Balat Kanai person. And what was stated here is funny. So let me see if I can find my initial comment where I decided to leave a comment. I said, actually, the sample, here it is. Actually, the samples from the region showcase black skin, dark skin, and intermediate skin tone. This is a blatant disregard of the empirical evidence in favor for a long-held racist belief at Pierre Lazarus et al. 2022. And that's usually what you see. A lot of times what we're arguing against is long-held beliefs, and these people have these barriers that will not allow their ideas to be tested and penetrate. That's why they don't want to debate. Debate is where when two people get both their points and premises across without interruption. They like this format because you can just say anything and say, no, you're wrong, blah, 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 without even showing any evidence. So um, I cited a paper there to prove my point, which we covered this weekend, and I'm going to go back into it today just to cover these internet jesters. So someone tagged me and said, you fake Hebrew, you black fake Hebrew Israelite, you black ass. You know what I'm saying? I guess it's just lambasting me. But they was tagging Alfonso Washington, whoever that is. I don't even know who that is. They showed an image where you do see a lighter skinned Canaanite in the mix. Which I'm not disagreeing with that. Of course, you had lighter skinned Israelites, Canaanites, and Canaanites did have SLC 2485. You did have the ones that will look like modern day Lebanese in color. No one's disagreeing with that. The disagreement is these people don't believe there was homogeny, and they don't believe there were no African types in ancient Canaan, which is retarded. Ancient Canaan is in the Syro-African rift, right? These people have been trading back and forth with Africa. This is why you can see Africans having those components in them. You can see Levantines having those components within them. You know, there are carriers today that are descendants of Africans. It doesn't make no damn sense. It makes no sense when we look at the data. So again, most of the arguments are just long-held racist beliefs that still permeate today. So watch this. So he was like, just they tagged me. Yashub, is that right? Fake Hebrew, you fake ass Hebrew Israelite? And I respond, I said, LOL, what are you asking exactly? Ancient Levantines were diverse. Dark to light skin tones existed. Again, Pierre Lazarus et al. 2022. And then Balat responds and says, Yashub, yeah, just like modern Levantines. And I'm like, okay, then we're in agreement. I don't even know why you tagging me. Right? And wrong. I was wrong about assuming that. Let me blow this up. I was wrong about assuming that because then he or she, I don't know who this is actually. These people have so many fake accounts, you don't know who you're talking to. We dealing with these troll accounts and in these groups. It says here, after I responded, If so, if you understood that, why did you tag me? African types existed in the Levant as well as lighter types existed in the Levant. Balak didn't stop there. You know, this person acted as if they understood where I was coming from, and no, they have an agenda. They have a secret swirl agenda. They said African types did not originate in the Levant, which was not the argument. That was dumb for him to say. That's what we call a red herring. That's to distract people from the original topic. It says any black person you see there came from sub-Saharan Africa via slavery as a laborer, etc. This is ostensibly false. All the up-to-date science literature shows you that before there was a thing called slave trade, the trans-Saharan slave trade, or whatever slave trade you want to invoke, there were sub-Saharan African types in the Levant, in other places as well, in Europe and other places. This is ostensibly false, right? I respond. I said, not true. African types were in the Levant during ancient times. You literally have sub-Saharan African haplogroups in the ancient Levant, such as L3E and L2A1. These are mitochondrial DNA groups. What are they doing in the Levant if what you're saying is true? And we did a whole video about the mitogenomes, explain that sub-Saharan Africans been on the move for tens of thousands of years, right? As you can see, L3E and L2A1 are both found in the Levant. L2A1 actually that's a typo. L3B is found in the Levant in Israel, and L2A1 is in Syria. So I'll respond with this page from the Oxford Handbook, of Levant Archaeology. And on this page here, page 96, it says, dealing with the Levant, it says, while some human remains resemble African, and it has in quotations, i.e. Egyptian populations. So I was like, so you do have skeletal remains that are classified as African. Look what this person says after I respond with that. Again, they have not shown any sources, haven't cited any sources. I'm battling their presupposition right now, not their evidence, their presuppositions. Balat response says, okay, Egyptians were not black. And so that's the response. So watch this. Let's go to the let's go to the people in the field and see what they say about that. Egyptians not being black. Let me open my Kindle. Let me open my library. We constantly have to keep reiterating the same points because we're dealing with the same racist ideology. See, the issue is not, what we think it is. The issue is the ideologues and ideology, not whether someone's black, white, Jew, or whatever. It's the ideologues and the ideology that is the problem. That's what we keep running into. Whether that black Hebrew Israelite, white Hebrew Israelite, Seventh-day Adventist, don't give a damn. It's the same damn thing over and over again. And I replay it over and over again. And I can't take it. I can't take it now. It's all in my head. And that song on point, it is in your damn head, man. Because none of this stuff comports with reality. None of this stuff comports with the data. You guys are just making these things up, or just taking old held racist beliefs, right? Because you want to keep the Levant white, right? You want to keep it white. And you try to retro-dict that into the past. That's what you guys do. You try to throw your ideology onto the past, and it never works. It never worked, and that's what we're here for. That's what YAP Game here for, to bring a fresh glass of water, a fresh perspective to the thing that's not inundated and dominated by racist belief. Okay, so let me grab this. This passage. We're going to the ancient Near Eastern history and culture by William H. Steinbeck Jr. and Susan N. Helft. We actually using credible sources, you know what I'm saying? Not some nutbag. So let's see. Ancient Egyptians were not black. That's what they said. Again, an absolute statement. making it my job even easier than it already is, right? So let me share my Kindle. We go to this source very often. Again, ancient Near Eastern history and culture, page 144. After 10,000 BCE, as the weather began to become drier, Egypt became a magnet for immigrants from North Africa, Sinai, Palestine, and the southern reaches of the Nile. These groups blended with one another to form the population of ancient Egypt, which physically was much the same in antiquity as it is today. In the Nile Valley, physical types varied. There was no homogeny. You guys keep trying to paint a homogenous Egypt, a homogenous Levant. Those concepts don't exist. Those concepts only exist in your head. It's all in my head. I think about it over and over again. I replay it over and over. It's all in your head, man. Because when we look at the skeletal remains, when we look at the genetic analysis, we see sub-Saharan African components. We see the genes that are there that are responsible for certain expressions, right? You guys just want to go to depictions on the wall. Yes, depictions on the wall. If you go by depictions on the wall, you know there were brown-skinned people there. Stop playing. If you just go by depictions, but it's not smart just to go by depictions. Because even though depictions could be misleading, we have to have corroborating evidence. And the corroborating evidence shows that these people were varied in appearance, not homogeneous. All right. It says here, in the Nile Valley, physical types varied so gradually that differences were perceptible only between places widely separated geographically. Skin color, for example, gradually changed from predominantly tan or olive, intermediate, right? In the Delta, to an almost blue-black near the Nile sources, which that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. So you have blue-black, very, very dark African Egyptians, and you also had light African Egyptians. Why is that such a hard concept for you to grasp? Oh, I forgot, because you believe in racial purity, which comes from social Darwinism. You don't go off of the scientific empirical data. You go off of social Darwinism. You believe that everybody in one area has to be the same skin color because you believe in racial purity. There is no such thing as racial purity. Most human groups are heterogeneous. Get over it. No matter how they look, they are an admixture. They are a product of amalgamation. That's why we all are similar. And if you do the math, all of us share the same ancestors very recently because we're very mixed and admixed. It says here, skin color, for example, gradually changed from predominantly tan or olive in the Delta to an almost blue-black in the Nile sources. Other physical features vary bit by bit along the same continuum, but such physical differences were not as important to the ancient Egyptians as to modern Westerners. I want you to hear this part. Because the way you think about race did not exist 3,000 or 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 Stone Age. You know what I'm saying? Chalcolithic, Bronze Age. These were not concepts that y'all argue and battle with people with all day. The Egyptians did distinguish themselves as a group from Libyans, Nubians, and Asiatics, and others in artistic representations by emphasizing any difference in facial features and skin tone between these groups and the average Egyptian. However, the main criteria Egyptians used to define themselves relative to others were cultural in nature. Anyone who was born in Egypt, spoke the Egyptian language, and shared the Egyptian culture was an Egyptian, a true person. That's how they thought. It was nationalistic. It was not dealing with race. How y'all, this modern idea of Darwinian race theory did not exist. It says in the ancient Egyptian language, the same word meant Egyptian in person. Outsiders were all thought to be somewhat inferior, but that was because of their cultures, not their skin colors. Foreigners spoke differently, dressed differently, often had a variety of strange beards, wore different hairstyles, and had different customs. To the ancient Egyptians, there was a world of difference between the Egyptian who lived in the Delta and his Libyan or Palestinian neighbors, even though they all might resemble one another physically. In the same way, darker skinned Egyptians, which this person says didn't exist, Darker-skinned Egyptians, residents of Elephantine, were people, while their physically similar Nubian neighbors just to the south were only wretched foreigners. That's how they thought. And this proves that there were darker skin types, darker skin tones in ancient Egypt, and also the Levant, which we're about to move to here. This is pure idiocy. Pure idiocy. Right. L3B1 is in the Peking Cave, Israel, 6,150 years before present. This is just silly. Now, from there, let's go to what he just referenced. Then I got a paper I want to deal with. See, y'all actually learn stuff here. You don't learn nothing from these damn groups. These groups are just made, they're cesspools where people just go there to lambast each other. That's it. Not providing evidence to their claims. They're just lambasting. They're not reading. They're not studying. And all that get it for understanding, as the good book says, right? So from there, let's go to haplotree. Type in Israel into haplotree in the ancient DNA segment, right? You'll see something very interesting in Israel. What the brother just brought up. L3B1. L3B1. What does that say? Israel Chalcolithic. L3B1 is in Israel 6,100 years before present. That's before any trans-Saharan slave trade, for any transatlantic slave trade. What is that doing there? What is that doing there? You said that should not be so. It's because you're unstudied and unlearned. You're just going off of axioms. That's all you're doing. You're just rambling off axioms. And that's why I love being in that group, because now I'm able to show your idiocy to my audience so I can properly teach them. Right? Now let's go here. This is from the article, The Expansion of the mtDNA haplogroup L3 Within and Out of Africa. This was written in 2011. Matter of fact, you guys can have this paper. We don't have no secret swirl scholarship here. There's the paper there. Now, if we go down to the portion where it talks about L3B, that's hard to search. I had it locked on it right here. L3B. Boom. It says here, from Eastern Africa and into Central Africa. Eastern Africa was the source of most of the ancient L3 variation. Although some subclades, L3B, which we saw in ancient Israel, right? L3D and L3E, as we will discuss in results, most probably emerged in Central Africa, with their presence in Eastern Africa related to migrants from Central Africa and not the other way around. So these are Central African haplogroups. Central African haplogroups. That's it. What are central? These are sub-Saharan haplogroups in Israel. You said that didn't exist. You ignored that because you are not dealing with data. You're not dealing with empirical evidence. What you're dealing with is long-held racist beliefs. That's it. That's all you're doing. Nothing more, nothing less. Yes, Sean, I am rolling solo because I'm trying to get through this. I got an hour to do this. Anyway, so L3B1, as you can see, was found in the Peking Cave in Israel. How music says they're going to say she got lost wandering too far. Exactly. Even if they do say that, it's the same damn thing. You're saying the same damn thing. And here's some more mild sauce for your taco, right? Now, this is from Lazarus, supplemental papers of his ancient probe paper, right? And it's dealing with the non-West Eurasian ancestry that was found in the Southern Arc. Why do you have non-West Eurasian components found in the Southern Arc? You guys want to make stuff homogenous. There's no homogeny. Watch this. Let me go back before we even read this. Before we even get to this point here. Let me share this tab instead. So you were wrong when you said the Egyptians were not black. You're ostensibly wrong. It's obvious that you're wrong, right? And I said here, LOL, you ignored what the text said. African types. You ignored the presence of sub-Saharan haplogroups in the Levant. The Levant was heterogeneous, not homogeneous. And then Balat just ignores whatever I say. This is called special pleading. It says Canaanites were homogeneous. This is also ostensibly false. How the hell are Canaanites homogeneous when they have different haplogroups? That's one. Some of them are J1, J2, some of them are E3B. Hell, you can even say B markers were there. There's evidence that B markers were in that region. Haplogroup B. We went over that. That's called different, heterogeneous, not homogeneous. It doesn't take too much to debunk or refute you guys. And I want to say refute because this is a refutation, not a rebuttal. Because rebuttals just mean you just come up with anything and say anything. Refutation is actually getting rid of the argument altogether. Canaanites were not homogeneous. Right? And we're going to go to this paper to show that. It says here, non-West Eurasian ancestry in the Southern Arc. All right. It says here, a total of 47 Southern Arc individuals were identified according to this criterion, and we showed their admixture proportions to figure S4. The African, I want everybody to hear this because they act like this doesn't exist in the Middle East or in the Levant, and it actually does. The African maximized black, in quotations, component is found in Levantine individuals as early as the Natufians. Let me read this. I got to read this slow for y'all because, again, racial thinking, right? Social Darwinism, and all the above dominated your mode of thinking. That's why everything you say is extremely racist. Not moderately, extremely. The African maximized black component is found in Levantine individuals as early as the Natufians and should thus not be interpreted as evidence of recent African influence in West Eurasia. What did this individual tell me? Black people got there via slavery. That is false. That is false. Now, let's go to the Canaanites and see how they look. The same paper, man. This is easy stuff, bro. Easy stuff. We can go down. Oh, well, we can look at this too. Look, Israel Natufian. That black portion is the African portion that was talked about. The Lebanon Iron Age, the black portion is the African portion. Turkey, Marmara, the black portion is the African portion. Another Turkey group, black, the African portion, which you said didn't exist there in ancient times. Stop it. This is why this is a refutation, not a rebuttal. This is a refutation. Let me go back. Hold on. Refutation. What does a refutation mean? Let me get that. I got to take you out of school for a minute.
Refutation.
A refutation is the action of proving a statement or theory to be wrong or false. That's what a refutation is. A refutation is. And that's what we do here on the channel, man. We don't do rebuttals. We do refutations. Right? And we take our time on doing it. whether we're dealing with a BHI and their extreme racism or WHI and their extreme racism. All right. As you can see, African components existed in this region in ancient times. Now let me go down. No, we adjust a lot of people, right? Let me go down, and then I want to go to AISR. There we go. Israelite, Canaanite, Middle Late Bronze Age. Out of 7 individuals, 7 of them were dark skinned. 4 of them were dark skinned. 1 of them was dark to black skin, which this person says doesn't exist. But in a sample size, we do see that existing. 2 of the individuals were intermediate. None of them that we found were pale. Pale was actually a rare skin type of expression during that time, according to the findings, even though it was there. Middle Late Bronze Age, at least 4 of them are dark skinned. 1 of them are dark to black skin. And the 2 of them are intermediate, meaning they would look like Ben Baby. Let me show you, give you an expression, give you a visual aid on that. This is what they probably look like. They would have Ben Baby skin tone. All right. Y'all wouldn't like to hear that, right? Y'all don't even like that skin tone. You wouldn't even want them looking like Ben Baby. But that's what the data is leading us to. Now, let me go back to the paper. See, maybe if you didn't spend majority of your time on Facebook trolling and arguing, and you actually did a little bit of research, you would make these common errors, these common mistakes. Anyway, let's go to the Levant now. The calculate to Israel, you had 1 individual dark skin and 0 individuals dark to black and 6 intermediate. So let's go to the Levant table now. The Levant table. Let me see. Right here, boom. So with the Levant table, let me blow this up a little bit more. The 11 people, or 44, that's the sample size that they have in their data collection, right? In their data set. 17 of them were dark skinned. 6 of them were dark to black skin. 21 of them were intermediate. More dark skin types are dark to black skin types than pale, because pale skin is 0 in the data set found from the Levant. You said these skin types or these phenotypes did not exist in these regions. That is a lie. The evidence says otherwise. The evidence says otherwise, right? To touch on this, let me go back to my book folder here. And I believe I just put another source in here. So we were reading the other night, we were reading a 2017 paper to get some understanding, because somebody was making a claim about that, and we read that he was wrong about the claim he made. All you got to do is take out a few minutes of your day to go read these articles that some of these people are trying to cite, and you can see what they're saying is emphatically wrong. All right. So let me find this paper real quick. Let me go to my downloads. I know I downloaded it recently. Because what was the thing about it was what was said in that paper about the admixture. Let me get it. Hold on. Let me go to the 2017 paper. I think it's Schumann. That's how you say his name, Schumann. 2017. Let me get that. Schumann et al. 2017. And the reason why I want to bring this paper up touch on that Egyptian statement. They said, "Oh, there were no sub-Saharan components." Yes, there were. Yes, there were. Y'all trying your damnness to try to explain it away. Your damnness to try to explain the DNA away. Ancient Egyptian mummy genomes. Here we go. I got it. We literally just had this paper up. Let me see if this is it here. I know I downloaded the PDF of the supplemental. And within that PDF, even in the paper, it tells you, right? In the paper, it tells you that the admixture that you see there in the Egyptians, they would have had what, I think 5 to 15% sub-Saharan African on average, those mummies that they found. And there's only an 8% increase from modern samples or modern people that are in ancient Egypt. And that right there is called dishonesty. you know, that's what that's called. So let me see if I can pull it up real quick on the fly. I didn't have this one ready. Sub-Saharan. Oh, well. Everything just closed. Hold on, y'all. Sean says it will also be proven that West African DNA didn't reach these areas by way of slavery by using the graph showing the generational distance to SSA and 8 DNA 8 distant population of Jews in 72 generations. Exactly. So let me go back because everything is closed out. Sub-Saharan African DNA. Ancient Egypt. All right, boom. The Nature article. Here we go. So, you know, what happens is people will read this title and say ancient Egyptian mummy genomes suggest an increase of sub-Saharan African ancestry in post-Roman periods. And that's it. That's where they stop reading. They don't read the rest of it. They don't go into it, or they try to go to a chart. Oh, look at the chart. It's clearly saying, no, it's not. You're misinterpreting the data because you didn't read nothing. You didn't read shit. All right? So, yeah, this is what I want right here. The discussion. No, they're gonna say they have to destroy Dr. Parmigiani, or say they sent an email to her. You know, that shit is so crazy, man. It's so crazy how these people think. Like, they have to have their racial theory be proven. Like, their racial ideas have to be proven and backed up, because again, they're dealing with axioms. When you deal with axioms, you shoot yourself in the foot. You know? So anyway, I just want to pull this up. Then we're going to move on, transition to our brother, our foraging brother. Our foraging brother, 93. You know? So you're gonna find that. We're gonna find that very interesting what he said, man. You guys are dilettantes and you guys try to run, but y'all want to make claims. All I asked the brother to do was to have a discussion. I didn't say a debate. That nigga don't even want to have a discussion. These niggas are so afraid to have their ideas tested. They want the ideas to exist in a vacuum. That's why they don't do debates. They don't want to stand up and face anybody with contrary evidence. They want to be in a vacuum where it's safe for them to say any damn thing. You know, that's what they want. That's why they flock to Facebook. That's why they flock to what's the audio app they go to? Clubhouse. There's no proof involved. There's no evidence involved. It's just a bunch of people just making statements and affirming them. Affirmation is not confirmation. All right. Affirmation is not confirmation. All right. So when we go to this paper here, ancient Egyptian mummy genome suggests an increase of sub-Saharan African ancestry in post-Roman times. It says here, a marked increase in African mtDNA, da da da. In contrast, substantially larger sub-Saharan African component found primarily in the ancient Yoruba. Well, another brother was like, "Oh, they didn't use it." Yes, they did. The paper says they used the Yoruba. So here, this part right here is the part I want. But I want to get the supplementary. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. I found it. I found it, y'all. So let's open up the Chrome tab. Ancient Egyptian mummy genome suggests an increase of sub-Saharan African ancestry in post-Romans. See, people conveniently don't read this because what they do is they use this paper and say there was 0 SSA components in Egyptians. And the paper doesn't say that. The paper doesn't say that at all. If you actually read the paper and not just go off what people tell you what the paper says. See, I do a lot of reading. Y'all don't. It says, finally, we use 2 methods to estimate the fractions of sub-Saharan African ancestry in ancient and modern Egyptians. Both QP-Atom and the F4 ratio test reveal that modern Egyptians inherit 8% more ancestry from African ancestors than the 3 ancient Egyptians do, which is also consistent with the admixture results discussed above. Absolute estimates of African ancestry using these 2 methods in the 3 ancient individuals range from 6 to 15%. So the ancient individuals had 6 to 15% sub-Saharan African components, which is Yoruba-like, according to the paper. That's the group they use to test for sub-Saharan African components, according to what the people say, not what you Facebook trolls say. According to the people that wrote the paper, that were involved in the project, they have 6 to 15% sub-Saharan African DNA, which the Yoruba are being used to measure that. And in modern samples, 14 to 21%, depending on the method and choice of reference populations. So what are you guys saying that there were no sub-Saharan Africans? You have the components there. In order to have the components there, you got to mix with those people to have the components. There has to be some fucking. There has to be some reproduction. That's how you get it. You don't get genes from osmosis. You can't put your genes in a damn email server and then mail it over or do it through Wi-Fi or airdrop your damn genes. You have to be in close proximity with people and they have to be having sex to retain those genes. That's the only way. They have to reproduce with those populations. So yes, there were SSA components and people in Egypt, also in the Levant. As we read earlier in Lazarus et al. 2022. We read that. Components are old that date back to the Natufians. The shit is simple, easy, nothing hard about this. Now, from here, let me go to 93. We're gonna transition. We off the Facebook troll for now. We're off the Facebook troll for now. Let's go to the YouTube troll now. Let me go to Abu's page here. Abu, I got about 28 minutes to wrap this up. We're going to go here and deal with 93. I want to deal with what Chris said about Bantu people, which he was absolutely wrong on. Motherfuckers don't care about the subject matter. That's what I call dilettantes. Dilettantes don't care about subject matter. They don't read, they don't study, don't do nothing. They just make claims about it. That's what makes these people dilettantes, right? So Abu, he did a video called EU1B1A in the Levant. I wanted to break down that. I think I told Abu in passing that how they come up with those dates and assignments of certain haplogroups, like if E1B1A is in the Levantine region, it's not based off ancient DNA. It's based off where they believe that founder effect happened, right? But my thing is, you have racists that will point that out, but that's exactly how they do it with the sub-Saharan African clades. They don't have any ancient DNA to verify that. They're deducing or using abductive reasoning to say, okay, maybe those haplogroups had their finder fence in these regions, which is the irony behind this. But let me go to 93's comment real quick. It says here, first, eventually E3A will eventually be found in many places, including the Levant, Israel, etc. It doesn't make them the biblical Israelites, because that's what 93 cares about. Because a lot of these Afrocentrics, they hate Jews, they hate Israel, and they don't want black people having anything to do with them. It's the opposite with white Hebrew Israelites. They hate black people, and they don't want black people to have anything to do with Jewish culture or Jewish people or Israelite people or Levantine people or what have you. That's usually the gist of their argument. That's where it starts and that's where it ends. Right? Because many people like 93 and his compatriots and cohorts will tell you, how could you follow somebody that oppressed you? That's the basis of their argument. That's what's driving them. And what's driving you is the fact that you have a hatred for a particular people or group. Both sides do this. They have a hatred. I remember being on Clubhouse and it was a brother that was EM35. And I said, hey, man, you EM35, you E1B1B, that's an African haplogroup. And E1B1B is the brother clade to E1B1A. You know that white man, you know what he told us? He said, I got to sit down. I'm just taking this all in. It bothered him. It bothered him because he's been taught and he's in a social bubble where everything that's African or black African is bad. And he don't want to be associated with it at all. On the flip side, Afrocentrics, they teach that Jews run the world, Jews ran the slave trade, Jews are the bane of our existence. Therefore, why would we follow a Bible? Why would we claim Israelite identities? Why would we claim Levantine anything? Because they did so much bad stuff to us. Notice both arguments are appeals to emotion, rabble rousing. Has nothing to do with facts, has nothing to do with empiricism, has nothing to do with the evidence, has everything to do with how it makes you feel. That's how you guys argue. It says it doesn't make them biblical Israelites, which it doesn't automatically make anybody Israelites, right? But it's a proxy, which that's what you use, proxies, because nobody can definitively prove any damn thing. You should delete your channel because anything you say can be challenged. But you got plenty of videos trying to challenge other people, but you don't want to be challenged your damn self. This is the cowardice of this community. He says here, rather a testament to how migration isn't dictated by lineage, which I do agree on, which I had to beat into you niggas' heads because y'all was saying something different. It says, same can be said about the possibility of finding E3A in West Africa prior to the Biblical Iron Age. And I want to have a discussion about that. There's no such thing as a Biblical Iron Age. It's just an Iron Age in the Levantine region. I want to have a discussion about what he said in that last part. Abu says, I also suspect earlier samples of J will be found in Levant. And then Adam Matai says, even earlier than Nimrik, Iraq J sample from 9,500 and 8,000 BCE. It might be the oldest J sample in Levant, if I'm not mistaken. And that sample just came out with the 2022 paper we were just reading. It says here, the Orthodox Moor says, no, it doesn't make them Israelites, but it's rather a significant point for those who embrace a mixed multitude model. Yeah. Then I responded. I said, Biblical Iron Age, what's that? Secondly, all of the evidence points to an external origin of modern West Africans. DNA is integral, but coupled with other arguments, the veracity at this point is unassailable. I'll be happy to discuss these things on your channel, 93, because they scared if I say come on my channel and I drop the sword. They too scared to do that. So I will pull up on your channel and we can discuss it. 8 people like this, by the way. You understand? I tried to make concessions for you guys as cowards, and you still don't want to have a conversation. Now listen to his excuse. This is the dumbest shit ever. Orthodox says the conversation in of itself will be proof. Haplogroup A having a dialogue with haplogroup E. Biblical DNA, we already know him. That's Danoy. He says if that were the case, it would be more towards the Roman annexation of the Levant, similar to how research has shown an increase of sub-Saharan African ancestry in post-Roman period. See, they quote that paper, but that paper showed that sub-Saharan African ancestry was there before the Roman period. And if you read the supplemental, it says that it could be ancient. That's what the paper says. See, we can go off what you got, the statements y'all make, but the paper says the presence of this Yoruba sub-Saharan African ancestry could be ancient. Y'all don't read that part. Because, be honest, you're not reading it all. Anyway, he said there are 2 Druzi's Lebanese samples in FTDNA in the family tree DNA database that show they belong to E1B1A FGC 61964. The closest to this SNP is from Benin with EFGC 61964. So either this sample came from the Arab slave trade or a long time ago. This single man journeyed by himself or with a small group with the Arabian Peninsula, which left traces in Nigeria, Congo, and Saudi Arabia. Blasi. And you can't say it came with the slave trade if they're saying it had its founder effect there. That's just dumb. Anyway, let's go down. We go down to what 93 says when 93 responds to me. It says here, everybody give me a minute. I'm about to wrap up. It says here, the Iron Age pertaining to the biblical Israelites around 3,000 years ago. The argument isn't about if E developed outside of Africa, rather if carriers of E3A here in the Americas are descendants of the Israelites. Such has not been proven. Well, watch what he says. Such has not been proven, but I can appreciate anyone's efforts permitting they argue in good faith. Now, no one cares about your standards or whatever you think. The point was that to set up a discussion, we can discuss what I bring to the table, what you bring to the table on that. You don't want to have that discussion because you're afraid. You're afraid that your faith is going to be shaken, just like any other religious person. And you are religious. You are a doctrinaire, and you're hiding. You're hiding because you don't want to be challenged. That's all. None of you, all you guys are the same. None of you niggas want to be challenged. You want to be able to make your claims and run. He said we cursed each other out. I don't remember that. And I'm like, this is discuss it live. And then he responds, this is the claim. This is how you know these people don't want to, no smoke. He says, if it has been proven and demonstrated by accredited geneticists that African Americans are the literal Israelites, I have no objection. Just cite the paper and the geneticists that have proven that. We can't argue facts. But yet you guys do all the damn time. A discussion, speculating, or postulating just for fun, but we all have done that for years now. I do appreciate the evolution in your approach to the matter. Keep growing. I think this is a backhanded compliment any goddamn way. Just had a discussion. Why even saying anything else? The answer should have been yes or no. But don't want to do that because you don't want to be challenged on anything. Another thing is this. There is no damn paper saying that literal Israelites are any goddamn body. There is no paper. We don't have Israelite DNA. That's why you're saying that. You're going to give an impossible request that you know no one can fulfill to keep and save your ass from getting kicked. That's so cowardice. That is so fucking pussy. You guys are pussy, bro. That's all I got to say about that. Just making up excuses instead of just engaging. You don't want your ideas to be tested. You want to make claims against someone, but don't want to jump in the ring and have that bout or have that dispute like men do. Then I respond, LOL, there's no paper that says any group are descendants of literal Israelites. You're asking for something that can't be produced instead of just having a discussion. You internet personalities are full of shit. Always creating an escape valve, but quick to posit claims. Quick to make claims and stand on those, ascertain those claims and say those claims are true and that we're full of shit and we're false. But you don't want to be challenged. You don't want to box. It's like a nigga that say, I knocked this nigga out. I knocked this nigga down. All right, cool. When you want, there's nothing but space and opportunity. When you want to get this done. Ah, man, my mama, I got to go wash her car. My sister graduating tomorrow. I got to go pick my baby. You making all these thousands of excuses. And what these Afrocentric dudes do, they always try to find the most obscure thing to pull out and say, oh, if you prove this, if you prove that. That's not how it works. Majority of science is postulation. Majority of it. Because there's very little we know about the inner working facets of the universe. So we have to postulate based on the facts that we have. And based on the facts that we do have the Bantus having Bronze Age, Levantine-like ancestry. The Mandi people have Neolithic Levantine-like ancestry. How did they get those things? They also have material culture that comes from the Levant. We can just go on and on and on and have that discussion. You don't want to do that because you know you're going to get overwhelmed and knocked the fuck out. All you do is a coward. Stop making claims then. You don't want to be, your ideas to be tested. Don't make the fucking claim. That's why I call you guys vaginals. Garfield, like, you call me a vaginal. Yes, you are fucking vaginal. You leaking vaginal fluid right now. Stand up and be a man and stand on these. You just want to talk shit. That's all y'all want to do. Talk shit. And the people y'all do want to get in the ring with and do want to have arguments with, you know goddamn well y'all can beat up on them easily. Like Tail. Y'all want to argue with Tail them because you know you can fuck them up. Stand your ass over here, man. So I can whoop your ass like your daddy used to. You know. This shit is retarded at this point, man. And basically, this guy right here, Spartacus, which is a made-up account, by the way, Legion, we are many. You got these races in the chat helping you, right? He says all they can do is postulate. They have no other argument. Well, just because it's not found to date doesn't mean it won't be found. That's the argument people use when they got no evidence to support their claims. Like we doing blind faith here? No, that's what y'all are doing. You got blind faith. We don't. We use evidence. We got video after video teaching you motherfuckers basics because y'all don't understand the basics. Right? The Spartacus person will be the same person saying ain't no black people in Egypt. Ain't no black people in the Levant. That's pure speculation. Every time a clade is slated to be in the Levant, you guys have a problem with it. That's pure speculation. You're not going off evidence. You're going off your long-held belief, racist belief, which both sides have. 93 has it. Spartacus has it. And here's another thing. 93 was like, I'm not a forager. I go to the grocery store. Motherfucker, your ancestors were foragers. That's what your DNA shows you. You can argue and cry all day and try to appeal to emotion. Your ancestors were fucking foragers. Right? Meanwhile, my ancestors were bringing in farming and technological advances. Your ancestors are not known for that. Big whoop. But since you're emotional about it, you can't accept that. That's so fucking dumb. Facts don't care about your emotions. Hold on, Jeremiah. I'll be there in a minute. I'm almost done. Give me a minute. I know you see me online. Anyway, there was another claim that was made. And maybe I'll deal with this video and talk about founder effects and why they think why certain haplogroups originate in certain regions, right? And the thing is, they got a problem with it when it's in the Levant, but they don't have a problem with the probabilistic science when it says it's in the Sahel or the Sahara. Sub-Saharan. They have no issue with it because they have the racial idea that your black ass don't belong anywhere outside of Western Central Africa. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with evidence, has nothing to do with facts, has nothing to do with probabilistic science, has nothing to do with that. It's just that they're trying to reinforce their racist beliefs. That's it. Same thing with 93, same thing with Chris Harris. They're just the opposite extreme. That's all. They're Afrocentric extremists. You know, I'm going to have to wrap it up, man, because I'm being called to go do another show. But basically, why Chris Harris is in the title, he made a statement that the Bantus are 10,000 years old. 10,000 years old. Produce a goddamn paper on that, man. I'm done. We out, man. 7 candlesticks up, and I've been telling you niggas, it ain't a debate. It's a stick up. Gang. Stay shiesty. Fuck out of here, man.
Shit, you know what's going on. You know, Chof. 300 on the jury and above. You already know it's with me. Pull up NASCAR, I'm a speeder. I don't need her. Don't ask to play ball with me. I'm Derek Jeter, crushing snakes in my bathing apes. Got jungle fever. I just put 5 ounces in the 1 liter. Don't ask how much my jury costs. I hate dumb people. You don't know who shot your friend. We don't either. I could do a song with whoever I want. I'm from LA, so I stay with a gun. Niggas better watch they mouth when talking to me crazy. You don't know my homies shoot up babies. I got 3 Ks, I been Ku Klux lately. You wanna fuck me, bitch, you won't pay me. I got 3 Ks, I been Ku Klux lately. My homies is crazy, they'll shoot at babies. I been driving whips out the DuPont lately. I been hearing I've been doing too much lately. I got 3 Ks, I been Ku Klux lately. My homies is crazy, they'll shoot up babies. I been driving whips out the DuPont lately. I been hearing I've been doing too much lately. Shit. I been driving whips out the DuPont lately. Man. My homies is crazy, they'll shoot up babies. I just put a drum on the K, I been tripping. Nigga breathe wrong, I'ma chip one of these niggas. I'm from California, LA to be specific. I'm a big dog, nigga greet me as I'm Clifford. I just caught a body in a party with the Clippers. I want Mei-Ling, So Young, and her sister. Nigga come, I'm tripping by the bitch, I'ma chip him. We take camera phones in the booth, cause bitch is tricky. Age ain't nothing but a number, the 17 is with me. If he graduated, then his 17 gon' hit him. I pull up in a super sport, I had to go and get him. Can't talk about what happened next, just Lord forgive me. I got 3 Ks, I been Ku Klux lately. My homies is crazy, they'll shoot at babies. I been driving whips out the DuPont lately. I been hearing I've been doing too much lately. I got 3 Ks, I been Ku Klux lately. My homies is crazy, they'll shoot up babies. I been driving whips out the DuPont lately. I been hearing I've been doing too much lately. Shit, man. I been driving whips out the DuPont lately. Shit, man. My homies is crazy, they'll shoot up babies. Shit, man. You know what the fuck going on, nigga? 300 on the both, 2 whips. Like, what's next for me? Like, I'm not playing with these niggas, I'm from LA, nigga. Nigga better not tell me nothing. I do songs whatever the fuck I want to, nigga. Yeah, at the end of the day, y'all gotta come out here. Shit, we don't gotta go nowhere else. Shit. Stop playing with me. I'm not the one to play with. Yeah. Put a drum on that, my youth.